Joel Osteen was born into a deeply religious household in Houston, Texas, where faith was not an occasional practice but a daily structure that shaped routines, conversations, and decisions. Growing up in a large family with strong spiritual discipline, he was surrounded by prayer, scripture, and the steady rhythm of church life from an early age. His upbringing was heavily influenced by his father's ministry, which emphasized commitment, consistency, and service to others. Despite this environment, Joel Osteen developed a personality that leaned toward quiet observation rather than outward expression. He was known more for listening than speaking, preferring to remain in the background while absorbing the world around him. This contrast between his reserved nature and his highly active spiritual environment created an interesting foundation for his later life. Nothing in his early years clearly suggested public leadership or global influence. Instead, he appeared more comfortable in supportive roles, avoiding attention and focusing on understanding rather than performing. Yet, within this calm and unassuming beginning, the groundwork for future communication skills and spiritual direction was gradually forming in ways that would only become visible much later. The strong influence of a father's spiritual vision. The spiritual foundation of Joel Osteen's life was deeply shaped by his father, Joel Osteen, a determined preacher who experienced a profound personal transformation in the late 1950s. This shift led him to pursue a life dedicated entirely to ministry, eventually founding Lakewood Church in Houston. The church began in extremely modest conditions, with only a small group of believers gathering in a converted feed store. Despite the humble setting, the vision behind it was ambitious, to build a place centered on hope, healing, and faith. Joel Osteen's leadership style was energetic and persuasive, and over time, his message attracted a growing congregation. His ability to connect with people emotionally and spiritually allowed the church to expand steadily. For Joel, this environment became both inspiring and demanding. He witnessed firsthand the discipline, resilience, and commitment required to maintain a growing ministry. However, he did not immediately step into the same public role. Instead, he observed, learned, and absorbed the structure of church leadership from behind the scenes. The legacy of his father's vision would later become the foundation upon which Joel Osteen would eventually build his own identity within the same church, a reserved personality behind a growing church. During his early years at Lakewood Church, Joel Osteen did not pursue preaching or public speaking. Instead, he remained in a quieter role that allowed him to support the ministry without standing at its center. His personality was naturally reserved, and he preferred structured, low-profile environments where he could focus on tasks rather than attention. While others engaged directly with congregations, he worked in supportive capacities that required patience and detail-oriented thinking. This included organizational responsibilities and exposure to early media production efforts within the church. These behind-the-scenes roles helped him develop a unique understanding of how messages could be shaped, recorded, and delivered to larger audiences. Although he was surrounded by active preaching and growing crowds, he did not initially feel drawn to the pulpit. Instead, he contributed in ways that aligned with his comfort level, focusing on preparation rather than performance. This period of quiet involvement was essential in shaping his later communication style. It gave him time to understand both the technical and emotional aspects of ministry without the pressure of public expectation. Over time, these experiences would become unexpectedly important in defining his future direction, building skills in media and communication work. As Lakewood Church expanded its reach, media production became an increasingly important part of its ministry. Joel Osteen found himself drawn into this area, working with recording equipment, editing sermons, and helping ensure that messages could reach audiences beyond the physical church building. This behind-the-scenes environment became a training ground where he developed practical communication skills without realizing he was preparing for a much larger role. He learned how tone, timing, and presentation could influence how a message was received. Working closely with recordings and broadcasts gave him insight into how people experienced sermons remotely, which was different from in-person attendance. He paid attention to clarity, pacing, and emotional impact, observing how small adjustments could significantly change audience engagement. Although he was not actively seeking public leadership, these experiences gave him a strong foundation in communication strategy. His work in media was methodical and consistent, reflecting his preference for structured environments. Over time, this technical understanding of messaging would become a defining asset when circumstances unexpectedly pushed him into a public speaking role. What began as supportive work gradually became a hidden form of preparation for leadership, a turning point through unexpected leadership responsibility. The direction of Joel Osteen's life changed dramatically when his father became seriously ill in the late 1990s. For years, he had remained behind the scenes, avoiding public preaching and focusing on media and support roles. However, as his father's health declined, the need for leadership within Lakewood Church became urgent. Joel was asked to step into the pulpit for the first time, despite having little formal experience in public preaching. This moment marked a significant shift from preparation to action. His first sermon was delivered under emotional pressure and uncertainty, as he was still adjusting to the idea of speaking publicly. Shortly after this initial step, his father passed away, leaving a sudden leadership gap within the church. The responsibility of guiding a large and growing congregation fell unexpectedly on Joel's shoulders. This transition was not planned or anticipated, and it occurred during a period of personal grief and organizational uncertainty. Despite his hesitation, he continued to step forward, gradually accepting the role that circumstances had placed upon him. This moment became the defining turning point that transformed his private involvement into public leadership, developing a distinct and accessible teaching style. Once Joel Osteen assumed a more active leadership role, his approach to preaching began to take shape in a way that differed from traditional styles. Instead of adopting a forceful or highly authoritative tone, he chose a calm, conversational method of communication. His messages focused on encouragement, hope, and personal growth, often emphasizing resilience and optimism during difficult times. This style made his teachings more accessible to a wide audience, including individuals who may not have been familiar with traditional church environments. His delivery was simple, structured, and emotionally supportive, which allowed listeners to connect with the message without feeling overwhelmed. Over time, this approach began to resonate with larger audiences, and attendance at services grew significantly. The shift in tone also changed the atmosphere of the church, making it feel more welcoming and inclusive to diverse groups of people. His focus was not on fear or strict instruction, but on uplifting individuals and helping them see potential in their circumstances. This approach became a defining feature of his ministry and played a major role in expanding his reach beyond the local congregation. Expansion from local church to global audience. As Joel Osteen continued to develop his ministry, Lakewood Church experienced significant growth in both size and influence. Services began attracting large crowds, eventually requiring expansion into larger venues to accommodate attendance. At the same time, television broadcasts and digital media allowed his messages to reach audiences far beyond Houston. This shift transformed the church from a local institution into a global platform for religious and motivational content. His sermons were distributed across multiple media channels, enabling people from different countries and backgrounds to engage with his teachings. The accessibility of his messages contributed to widespread recognition, and his influence extended beyond traditional church settings. Over time, he became one of the most visible religious figures in the world, known not only for his sermons but also for his media presence. Despite this growth, his core message remained consistent, focusing on encouragement and positive outlooks. The combination of media strategy, timing, and communication style played a key role in this expansion. What began as a small congregation evolved into an internationally recognized ministry with millions of followers, maintaining neutrality in public and political discussions. One notable aspect of Joel Osteen's public approach is his decision to remain neutral in political matters. He has consistently avoided aligning himself with specific political parties or candidates, choosing instead to focus on spiritual encouragement and personal development. This decision is intentional and reflects his desire to keep his message accessible to a broad audience. By avoiding political debate, he aims to prevent division among those who follow his teachings. His ministry emphasizes unity through faith, rather than separation through ideology. While he has met with various public figures, including political leaders, these interactions are generally framed within non-political contexts. This neutrality has allowed his audience to include individuals with widely different beliefs and backgrounds. However, it has also led to discussion and debate, as some critics argue that public religious leaders should address social and political issues more directly. Supporters, on the other hand, view his approach as a way of maintaining focus on spiritual rather than political matters. This balance has played a role in sustaining his broad and diverse following over time. Public debate and criticism around his ministry. As Joel Osteen's influence grew, so did public discussion about his teachings and ministry style. While many people appreciate his positive and uplifting messages, others have raised questions about the depth and focus of his preaching. Critics sometimes argue that his emphasis on optimism and personal success does not fully address traditional theological themes such as suffering, repentance, or sacrifice. Additionally, his public visibility and lifestyle have occasionally been subjects of media attention and debate. These discussions have contributed to a broader conversation about the role of modern religious leadership in media-driven environments. Supporters, however, emphasize the positive impact his messages have had on individuals facing personal difficulties. They point to the emotional encouragement and hope his sermons provide as evidence of his influence. The contrast between criticism and support highlights the diversity of expectations people have for religious leaders today. Despite differing opinions, his ministry continues to attract large audiences and maintain significant cultural presence. This ongoing debate reflects broader questions about how faith, media, and public communication intersect in contemporary society, clarifying myths and online speculation about private records. In recent years, online narratives and videos have circulated claims suggesting that unusual or, quote, hidden materials were discovered in Joel Osteen's private study. However, there is no verified evidence supporting dramatic or sensational interpretations of his personal workspace or ministry records. Instead, available information about his work environment aligns with standard practices in media-based ministries. His study and office spaces are understood to contain typical materials such as sermon notes, planning documents, recordings, and communication drafts. These resources reflect the operational side of running a large ministry rather than anything mysterious or alarming. The spread of exaggerated claims often stems from sensationalized content designed to attract attention rather than present factual reporting. In reality, his behind-the-scenes work represents years of preparation, organization, and adaptation to growing public responsibility. Understanding this context helps separate speculation from documented reality. Rather than uncovering hidden secrets, what exists is a record of gradual professional development within a large and evolving organization. This clarification is important for maintaining an accurate perspective on public figures and their work environments. A legacy shaped by growth, responsibility, and adaptation. The life and career of Joel Osteen can be understood as a gradual progression from quiet observation to global leadership within a major religious institution. His journey was shaped by family influence, unexpected responsibility, and the development of communication skills through years of behind-the-scenes work. When he stepped into public leadership, he brought with him a style that emphasized clarity, encouragement, and emotional accessibility. This approach allowed him to connect with a wide audience and expand his ministry beyond traditional boundaries. At the same time, his public presence has sparked discussion, reflecting the complexity of modern religious leadership in a media-driven world. Despite differing opinions, his influence remains significant, and his teachings continue to reach millions of people across various platforms. His story is not defined by secrecy or hidden discoveries, but by gradual adaptation to responsibility and changing circumstances. Over time, he transitioned from a reserved individual into a widely recognized public figure, shaped by both opportunity and expectation. Ultimately, his legacy reflects a combination of personal development, institutional growth, and the challenges of maintaining a consistent message in a global environment.